Are you doing the intro?
Sure. Want me to do it right now?
Yeah, do it right now.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is kind of part one in a series of SUV.
I'm doing the intro. Channel. Hey, welcome to our SUV series, episode 1. We told you in a previous video we got a lot of good content coming out, so what do we need people to do?
Like and subscribe, enable the notifications, hit that bell.
Absolutely, because after this incredible video, we've got something really special coming down the road too that you're going to want to check out. But Casey, what do we have today?
The Jeep Grand Cherokee in 4xe trim. You know we love this powertrain. We've showed it to you in the Wrangler. I'm very excited to see what it's like in the Grand Cherokee.
Casey, let's start with just the look of the Grand Cherokee. What do you think of this latest version?
I love it. It's my favorite version of the Grand Cherokee so far. I love the more squared off look to it. They've had kind of a slopey grille in the past. I love this kind of more vertical squared off look. I like the kind of more angular wheel arches. The whole thing just has a very muscular and capable look to it for what's going to be a grocery getter most of the time.
Yeah, and if we come around here to the side, the one thing I would point out about this, it is a very long vehicle. The hood is much longer than the previous version, and overall the size has increased. And that's probably my only gripe about the change, is I loved the previous Grand Cherokee, just how compact it was. Because even though it's not nearly the off-road vehicle of something like a Wrangler, with some modification, you could take this vehicle off-road. Okay, enough about how it looks. Let me get this door for you, okay?
Oh, am I gonna drive?
Well, you've never been in one.
That's true.
And I wanna get your first impressions.
Oh my. Yeah, so Jeep and the Grand Cherokee specifically has really, with each iteration, been trying to move more and more up market, right? They offer a lot more higher luxury trims, probably some of the nicest cars that Chrysler Jeep umbrella makes. This is no exception, and definitely the best iteration so far. This is a fantastic looking car.
It looks really nice. I mean, you've got open pore wood grain trim.
Leather wrapped dash.
Yeah, and believe it or not, this is still pretty low on the spectrum as far as how you can spec this vehicle.
Oh wow.
There's upgraded leathers. You've got ventilated seat packages. This one's heated. You got your heated seat controls
And
a
heated steering wheel.
Yep. I really like that screen, man. The new Uconnect system looks great. Check this out. A secondary screen for the passenger.
Yes.
And you actually can't see that very well over there, can you?
No, I can't, and I'm assuming that is by design. So I heard about this feature. I think it's really cool. What that enables you to do is have the passenger input things that would normally be locked out for the driver when the car's in motion. So they can input a navigation address for you, because that's normally locked out when you're driving, right? So they can do that, and then it's ported over here so you can see it on the navigation screen. They've got access to cool settings. If you've got rear seat entertainment, they would have access to the controls for that. That's a really nice feature that I bet we see copied a lot by the industry going forward.
Yeah, one thing I do love that FCA does and Jeep does very well is connections for your devices. You always got multiple USB ports, not just A, but also C.
2 A's, 2 C's, and HDMI for your rear seat entertainment.
And if I pop here in the back, for the passengers, 4 USB ports, 115 volt outlet, and in this model, rear heated seat controls.
I think we got to talk about the cargo area for a sec.
We do.
So nice and big. No third row in this one. There is an L version of the Grand Cherokee that you can get with a third row. You do have some cool charging ports back here, hooks for your groceries, all that cool stuff. Under the floor, what do we got? A nice full-size spare. I love that. And then your 4xe charging cable, a little bit of storage, some recovery stuff.
Definitely got room for your pickleball paddles. Pretty important.
Is it this?
What you are witnessing
is somebody trying to close the cargo for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there is no button on the lift gate
Yeah.
that's easily accessible. There's actually a button inside on the edge And that's how you close it.
You
I
know
love
what,
watching
though?
that.
I should point out something. I actually kind of like that because I'm often trying to close that lift gate with like bags of groceries in both hands, right? So in order to do that, I've got to lift it all the way up like this, right?
Yeah.
So a little bit easier if it's more like hand level. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
pretty cool. And but I loved watching you try to figure out where it was.
Yeah.
Before we get driving, I just want to point out some more cool things I like in here. In this little charging area, you got a couple of great slots for your phone, all right? And then you can close that. I really like that. We've talked about the off-road heritage of Jeep, and I want to point out we've got we've got a low range gearbox in here. So even though this isn't like the most off-road oriented trim, you've still got 4 low. You've got a hill descent. You've got different off-road modes for
Traction
your
controls,
traction control settings and stuff. So, you know, look, slap some all-terrain tires on this thing and it's ready to go. So pretty sweet. We've also got a third screen over here. We didn't mention that. You know, more and more common these days, especially with a hybrid. They've got so much information they need to show you with like state of charge and how the hybrid system's working. They're going to throw a screen on here. Pretty nice looking screen, pretty standard fare.
You'll notice all the buttons up here on top, so we've got some safety features, like we've got lane assist control, parking sensors, but then right there with the hybrid, you've got your regen braking mode, which is currently on. So we'll see how Casey likes that when we start driving.
Is that
Let's
what
go.
that is? Or, oh, okay, yeah, your hybrid selections are over here. So we're in hybrid mode right now. And, you know, I do love my regen braking, so we'll see how it works in this car. We got a little sport mode over here. I like that. Felt it kind of take off on me immediately. But yeah, so initial driving impressions, very solid crossover SUV that we've come to expect from a Grand Cherokee. You know, you mentioned the length of this vehicle. I'm not sure I've ever felt so far away from the front of the vehicle in a crossover like this in quite a while. And that's more due to the styling, I think, than the actual length of it. It's just I can see a lot of the snout from where I'm sitting. Kind of makes me feel like I can't see the corners of the car.
Yeah, the size is very evident. You know what else I think is very evident in this one is the weight. That additional weight of the battery, really, you definitely feel it in this in a way that I never really felt it in that Wrangler 4xe. But it's here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, you know, the Wrangler is a car that always kind of feels heavy anyway, so you don't notice it as much. But yeah, you can feel it in this car. One thing I've noticed, the steering wheel, the diameter is kind of large.
It's huge.
Which, you know, actually probably a good decision on their part. I think as SUVs have gotten more and more like sporty, they've gone to smaller steering wheels, trying to make it feel more like a car. And I actually kind of like, in a car this size, feels nice and big. I bet it's actually really nice in a parking lot, low speed things. Yeah, now you mentioned regen braking. I've noticed it in the first couple of stops we had. Not overly aggressive. I think it's a nice balance. Whoa. Okay. Brian, will you tell me how much horsepower this car has?
So for the 4xe powertrain, the total horsepower is 375. Okay, you're getting 275 horsepower out of the 2-liter turbo. You're getting an additional 130 horsepower from the electric motor. You're going, well, wait, that doesn't add up.
That doesn't math.
No, but in Jeep's, FCA's programming for all of that combined powertrain, they're rated at 375. And you're right, it does get up and go. For a vehicle this size, 0 to 60 is 5.3 seconds. Ooh. And you definitely feel it. Again, that's when battery charged, you know, full access to all of the power.
Yeah, I would say that 5.3 is maybe even a little conservative. This thing really moves. It also corners very flat. And I think, you know, we've talked about the influence of that battery weight in the Wrangler. You can feel it here. And again, I think it gives it a little bit more muted, like it's like damps the movement of the car. So it doesn't jostle as much. Corners very flat because the weight's very low. And it's a really nice ride.
It really is. Now, you don't get anything for free, all right? So all that extra weight in a car like this, with this kind of weight and that kind of handling, you're going to chew through tires, okay? So if you drive this thing hard, just be prepared for that from an ownership standpoint. you'll burn some rubber.
My wife would go through tires every 10,000 miles in this car. Guaranteed.
Same in my house.
I like this seat quite a bit. For what's a fairly like mid-level seat, it's not the craziest, nicest one they sell. Doesn't have the most controls, but it's got just enough, very comfortable. I would like being over here on long road trips. But all that stuff that we talked about comes at a cost. What are we talking about sticker for this trim?
Yeah, so for this limited 4xe package with a couple of extra bits thrown in, we're looking at $63,000 on a sticker. You are paying a premium for the plug-in hybrid. That's going to get you up over 60 for something like this. You know, but starts at 40, okay, for the Pentastar V6 and goes all the way, like I said earlier in the video, all the way up to 86. All right, let's wrap up this review, Casey.
There's a Jeep Grand Cherokee for just about every family. Thank you to the construction workers that are, I don't know.
There's something crazy
Are they
going on
shooting,
over there,
like,
man.
What
Seriously.
the hell is that?
I don't know, man. But it's making this, we're gonna have to redo this.
Okay.
If I was to put 60 grand in your pocket today, would this still be on your list?
It would be on the list, but I think for that price, I'd probably go in a little bit different direction. I might be looking at something like the new Mazda CX-90 with their plug-in hybrid, or maybe one of the, you know, the Highlander, Kia Telluride, that sort of thing. But the important thing about the Grand Cherokee is what you mentioned earlier with the price range of $40,000 to around $85,000. I mean, that's almost 2 for 1. It's crazy how many different trim options there are, powertrain options, off-road capability options there are. If you love the look of the Jeep Grand Cherokee, and as well you should, if you want that iconic nameplate, the Jeep brand, there is a Jeep Grand Cherokee for you. They've got different wheelbases, different trim packages. You're gonna find one at the price point you want to match the needs of your family.
That's a wrap for the 2023 Grand Cherokee 4xe Hybrid. Thanks for watching Roma Reviews. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell down there somewhere. And thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. Awkward Wave. Romer out.